Here I have two decks working together where the goal is to get the highest power possible for a single light side character. We're going to try that with Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight, and see how high we can get his power. Not necessarily the power at the site, total power. I'm talking about just Luke's power as an individual. So lots of activation cards to help get a big force pile going. Baru's Stew, either way you win. Darkside's putting out activation as well, since Darkside is actually trying to help here. And this is a good start for the 4 luck effect, since this effect allows the opponent to peek at the top 2 cards of their reserve deck if the opponent occupies a non-battleground location. So since that's a non-battleground over there that the Emperor's at, the light side is going to be able to pick and choose from the top 2 cards of their deck in their control phase. But having 8 force in your pile already before your activate phase, that's good for getting the ball rolling. So lots of drawing there. Okay. So hiding in the garbage is a very useful card for this. Just checking to make sure there's no docking base. And then the dark side's going to search in the force pile, and I'm playing both decks at once, so I know what's in the force pile. So now I can use hiding in the garbage. I know exactly what's going to be there. You have to use force until you get the card type that you named. And since I know what the card types are, I'm going to get it right, in quotation marks, the first time each time. So I just made sure I sorted them together by the same type. That made it a lot easier. And then eventually I got to that, the card that I was going to search my use pile for. I searched my force pile for. So all the force that's saved in the force pile there, or at least before the end of this turn, that was all stuff that I don't really need in hand. It was just to help with activation. So I might as well save that for later when I actually deploy cards. And the dark side's helping out with more 2/2 sites, 2 icons for each. We'll speed it up through their drawing. So getting a lot of those key cards in my hand, as well as some helpful force activators. All right, so white side's got 33 force now. Dash is going to be essential. Might as well activate it all then. And here the dark side's going to be generous and sorted exactly how would be helpful for us. And hiding in the garbage is going to get all this stuff on this turn. You might ask, well, why not just do it later when you draw? Well, this is one turn quicker to get everything out. And all the cards below, once I'm done drawing with hiding in the garbage, those are all going to be force that I'm just going to use. And some of these cards the dark side could have played, but they're all essential for getting Luke's power up. Even the skiff matters. Doesn't necessarily have to be a skiff, but it's a useful one. All right, so Nightfall. Now, that does add destinies to total power, but that's not why I need it. So, of course, Luke's got to come out. Base power of 6. The Tatooine utility belt doesn't help him right now, but he'll be power +2 on Tatooine. He's cheaper to deploy to home one. Slow Mahal's going to make him power +2 when he reacts. So there is a card, Run Luke Run, that allows Luke to be power +2 after he moves to a battle on an adjacent site. The problem is that doesn't count as a react, as far as I know. And if you use Run Luke Run to move him over, I don't think he can embark on a vehicle like he can when he reacts. And to be on the vehicle, that makes him power +1 here. So we also have mercenary armor here. It's important this one comes down first because you have to deploy it on a rebel without armor. So if it's on, oh, well, Cytor Cal Fast, I forgot about that one too. That just makes a warrior power +1. So that's all that does. All right, we'll keep going. And the Elam comes down, and the Elam allows Plastoid armor to deploy on Luke. So that's going to add to his power. 12 so far. One of those is from the Elam. He's power +2, and he's got a lightsaber on him. He's going to come out. He's going to help us play an important Utini effect. They give a bonus to Luke's power, so some odd things are going to happen pretty soon for this to work out right. But Luke is done hanging out with the Elam. He had to go to the home one because it only works at a mobile site. So now we're on Tatooine, 16 power for Luke so far. So I didn't deploy the lightsaber proficiency because we have to do something kind of odd here. We want to get bionic hand on Luke. So that'll make him power +1. We have to have him get disarmed first. Arising is hunting Luke's aunt and uncle. We're going to need the Imperial Walker for an interrupt. Now, the one card that I didn't include is a light side device called Remote. It's that little thing that Luke trains with, the little gray ball that he trains with on the Millennium Falcon with Obi-Wan. I could have put that in the deck and given it to the dark side by Sabak or stealing it somehow. But the problem is, well, I should say the problem with that is that if you use a remote, it has to be during your control phase that you add 1 to your character's power. The good news is it can go for either character. So if the dark side gets their hands on it, they could make Luke's power +1. And the reason it has to be on the dark side's turn, the battle that Luke gets his high power is because of the react. He won't be power +2 unless he reacts. You can use Run Luke Run on your own turn, but then you can't have him hop on board the skiff. All right, so Luke got disarmed, but the bionic hand's right there, so he's undisarmed. So instead of being power -1, he's power +1. Then his bionic hand goes on him. So that makes him power +2, so he has 2 bionic hands now. Dark side's checking to make sure there's nothing in there that the light side still needs. So he's an interesting tech since Luke is being trained by Cytor Cal Fast. Where is he there? So Luke is being trained by this effect. Garen Nastal adds an extra power and forfeit bonus to Luke. We need a Jedi in order to play Jedi Presence later. That's, of course, the key to getting him high power. And that's why the Nighttime Conditions card is necessary, because he adds 2 to the power and forfeit of characters. We played a lot of Premier. That's going to be a common card. So both sides are adding a Destiny to total power. Luke has some pretty high immunity to attrition right now. So we don't want Kylo to get totally blown away, because we still need to have Luke come back later. So there's a couple. So he needed to get disarmed and he needs to be battled here. And now we can play Tusken Breath Mask. And that's going to make Luke power +4. So usually it's power +2. Let's see if I can click on that properly. So target's power and forfeit are +2. However, he doubles its power and forfeit bonuses and allows me to play it directly on him. So you win that battle, you can deploy it to the site. And even though he didn't kill a Tusken Raider, he still gets a Tusken Breath Mist. That's power +4 for Luke there. And then because you won the battle, you can play Advantage, which now makes him power +2. All right, so he's 24 on his own right now on Tatooine. And just some force activation. This turn just double checking that nothing is still missing. Some of this is a little bit extra, doesn't need to be done. Just want to double check that I'm not missing anything. I didn't want to deploy lightsaber proficiency last turn because I wasn't sure how much I was going to outpower Kylo. Darkside's going to get a character. Throw away some cards from hand just because. I have a few copies of hiding in the garbage, but it's not totally necessary. We do need to get Luke's lightsaber back. That's probably the reason why we need to wait for lightsaber proficiency. Kind of forgot about that. I thought I saved lightsaber proficiency because he was didn't want to overpower Kylo, which is true, but it was easier just to wait a turn. So now Luke's at 26 power on his own, 29 really, because lightsaber proficiency doesn't apply till there's actually a battle. And light side doesn't really need any more of those cards. So now it's time to battle. So we need to have Owen and Beru get defeated to make Luke power +6. So right now Luke is at 26 power. That makes him 32. So we got to remember 32. We're going to dash him on over. Slow Mahal makes him +2, so he's 34, I believe. He hops on the skiff, so he's 35. That's going to add 1 to his power, 36. That's going to add 2 to his power, 38. Firefight, 39. That's going to make him 45. Plus, he gets 2 more for this. So I already lost count. But let's see here. I know what he ends up getting. I can't remember how. There's even some things I'm missing here. But okay, so here's Jedi Presence. So I'm going to pause this real quick. Right now, the power here is at 62. So he should be at more than what I was saying, but I guess I forgot what I'm missing. But, oh, well, he gets power +3 more. That's what I was missing. It's the +3 for lightsaber proficiency. So the total power is 62. So Obi-Wan, he's the Jedi here. Jedi Presence, I think we can see it. Yeah, a lot of you are probably familiar with this card, but The other rebels, they're going to battle at double power. So whatever this adds to the total of 62, that's what Luke's power is now, and then he doubles it. So let's see what we end up with. Instead of 62, we end up with 112. So Luke was power 50, which means now he's power 100, which I think is pretty cool. Those are our destinies to total power. But yeah, ended up with a power 100 Luke, just on his own. I'll decline the battle destinies just because it's already overkill. Then with 94 overflow, and that goes pretty quickly. Gem kind of does that instantly, but ended up with 56 left over. So that was a power 100 Luke. Unfortunately, when you click on it in the game, it'll tell you, it'll give you details on the right side here, but after the fact, it doesn't really do that. But yeah, if 112 minus 62 is 50, then he must have had 50 before that, ended up with 100. I can think of a way to get him 102 by adding that remote to the deck and having some Sabak be played, or use Regisk or something and have the dark side steal him, but I can't imagine any other ways to do that. So if you can think of a way to get him more than 102 power, let me know in the comments. In any case, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.